Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So, I want to do a quick live stream. It's gonna be quick, man. Just heard a really good interview on 78 Sports TV. Shout out to 78. He did an interview with Deontay Wilder, and Wilder was speaking about the Eddie Hearn situation. We know Hearn came out and said that I believe it was 13 million American dollars. It was either 10 million American dollars or 13 million American dollars, whichever one. He says that was never offered. There was two times it was meeting, but it was nothing really. There was nothing offered. That's according to him. And like I said, it's just going to come down to who do you believe. If you believe Wilder is telling the truth, they didn't offer him shit. Why would he turn it down? That's cool. And if you believe Eddie Hearn is telling the truth and he never lies when it comes to Wilder, okay, fine. But what caught my attention about the interview is Deontay Wilder is still wants to fight Luis Ortiz. When 78 Sports asked him who does he want to fight, he said Luis Ortiz. He didn't bring up anybody else as far as next, because we know Parker and Joshua, they're pretty much close to being done for their fight. It seems as if that fight's going to happen somewhere in March or April, somewhere around there. It's one step closer to a undisputed champion. I like the fight, Parker versus Anthony Joshua. I think it's a good fight. Wilder actually agreed with me. I think that fight's going to go 12 rounds. A lot of people think it's going to end by knockout. I think it's going to go to decision. I'm still favoring AJ in that fight, 55-45, somewhere in there. But I think it's an intriguing fight. But Wilder brought up Luis Ortiz, said he still wants to fight him. And that is a fight he would want to have next. And there's another thing that Wilder also agreed with me about. I said this on my live stream. And I know there's fans that also feel this way. But I think it's like a small percent of us, man. To me, it's so common. It's so like the right thing to do is Wilder, Parker, and Joshua Parker and Wilder, let's hope it's Ortiz, fight on the same day. We know that the fight here in the U.S. will be televised. The Joshua fight that's going to be televised in the daytime. And then Wilder, hope it's Luis Ortiz, fight at night. That'd make sense. Or I was even thinking one step further. I know egos would be involved and things like that, but I would wish they could fight on the same card. You know what I mean? And have it out there in the UK. Wilder can fight on the undercard, but who knows how much it'll take for that to get done. But at least fight the same day from different venues. Both guys are with Showtime. That'd be dope, man. Like, that's like the right thing to do. So it's glad that I'm not the only one thinking of that business idea for this Final Four type of matchup. Now, before we get to all that, Luis Ortiz, I see y'all, there's viewers, man. Y'all hit that like button, man. Give me a Larry Holmes jab to that like button. But Luis Ortiz will be in action here in a few days. He'll be on a PBC card. It'll be on FS1, and he'll be fighting Daniel Martz. Martz is a guy that's fought Joseph Parker. He just fought Brian Jennings on the Crawford Ndongo undercard, and he also fought a guy named Alexis Santos. I watched both those fights on YouTube. Santos was getting to him in the first fight, and then Santos messed his leg up. They had a rematch. Santos won that fight, and but Martz has had a fight since the Jennings loss. He beat a journeyman. I forgot the guy's name that he beat, so he has picked up a victory. I believe he won by TKO. Texas T346 was good. He says, I hope he put Ortiz in a body bag. So yeah, man, Ortiz will be fighting Daniel Martz, so we'll get to see him. Although it's a, stay busy type of fight. I just want to see the dude fight, man. I haven't seen him in a while. I just want to see him fight. When's the last time he fought? Was it Dave Allen? Or was it Malik Scott? I forgot which one took place first. I believe Dave Allen was last. But either way, we haven't seen him fight in a while, man. So it's good to see Luis Ortiz fight. You know what I mean? Whether it's a tune-up or not. In a few days, like I said, if you're asking me, hey, do you want to watch Luis Ortiz fight in 4 days? Hell yeah, I want to see him fight in 4 days. You know what I mean? So good that he's shake some ring rust off, and then he can get a Wilder fight March. Again, you can have it the same night as the Joshua versus Parker. That fight still needs to be finalized, but it seemed like that's the route that both teams are going to go, Parker and Joshua. But that was a really good interview by 78 Sports TV today with Deontay Wilder, and I'm glad that he still wants Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz and his team still want a title shot. they still want to fight Deontay Wilder. So the fight was only, I mean, their fight would have taken place, what was that, last month or something? So shit, man, the fight is, yeah, the fight they would have fought last month, like exactly a month ago. Okay, cool. It didn't take place. It can happen in a few months from now. Luis Ortiz is rated number 3 by the WBC. And as far as I know, Dominic Breazeale and Dillian Whyte, they're both rated higher than Luis Ortiz in the WBC sanctioning body. But any other independent ranking service, whether it's BoxRec, Transnational Boxing Ranking, ESPN rankings, all these other websites, everybody has Luis Ortiz rated higher than Dillian Whyte and Dominic Breazeale. Now, you may argue that some of you may want to argue that those fights will be tougher for Wilder because they're younger. Whatever reason, you may think they're better fighters than Luis Ortiz, but the majority of fans have Luis Ortiz rated higher than both of those guys, and it's still a very good fight. You know what I mean? To me, it was a very good fight last month when it was supposed to take place, so it'll still be a damn good fight in 2-3 months from now. You know what I mean? It's not like we're asked about this fight, 12 months from now or 15 months, 16 months from now. So happy that Luis Ortiz is back. The WBC reinstated him, so let's get it, man. Let's get it. I mean, it's a fight that I still want to see, man. Let me just read some of these comments. Mike104 says, I have seen fight Darmani. Hello, Mr. Boxing. I have seen Darmani Rock in Oakland before. Always have trouble finding his fights online. You got any links or sites? Nah, if you go on YouTube, just type in Darmani Rock, you'll see little snippets, man. But really not much on him, man. And when he is on undercards, like I know he was on some undercards in Vegas, I believe Andre Ward undercard. You got to be there live to see him. Really not much televised of him, man. Yep, Mike 104. Yep, on the Andre Ward undercards, man. But rather than that, there's really not much of him. But just wanted to get my opinion about this, man. Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder, they still want to fight each other. The fight is still hot, in my opinion. Luis Ortiz is still undefeated. Like I said, their fight would have taken place like exactly a month ago. So, still exciting fight. Still arguably 2 of the top 4 heavyweights in the world. I looked on BoxRec. You could take their rankings for whatever it's worth. But I was just looking at their rankings really quick. And they have Joshua number 1, Povetkin number 2, Wilder 3, Ortiz number 4. Transnational boxing ranking, I know in September, I know it's December now, but I know in September, they even had Luis Ortiz all the way up at number 2. They had Joshua 1, Ortiz 2. I haven't checked Transnational this month, but I'm sure they still have them highly ranked. Higher than Breazeale and Whyte. I'm pretty much, I can guarantee that. So yeah, man, it's good that Wilder still wants to fight him, and I know Luis Ortiz still wants his title shot. And the WBC cleared him. There should be nothing in the way of this, man. Really nothing in the way of this. Although Dillian Whyte is rated number 1 by the WBC, he is not the mandatory. He is the number 1 contender. He's rated number 1, but he's not a mandatory, so it's not like he's owed a title shot. Breazeale, he's number 2. His fight with Molina, first it was put out there as a final eliminator for the mandatory, and then the WBC reneged and said it's not a final eliminator for mandatory. And we know Helenius Whyte was just an eliminator. It was just an eliminator fight. So if anything, if Whyte and Breazeale can fight, or Whyte versus Jarrell Miller or something like that, some mixture of that type of stuff can go on with them. Although I heard Whyte and Lucas Brown is being rumored. But yeah, man, good times right now. So let's see what Luis Ortiz looks like in a few days here against Daniel March. I expect him to get the job done. It's scheduled for 10, and I'd be surprised if it went past 4 or 5 rounds, man. Every time March has stepped up, against Jennings, he got dominated pretty quickly, and the Joseph Parker fight, he got dominated pretty quickly. I believe the Jennings fight went 2 rounds, and the Parker fight went 1 round. So I don't see Ortiz having much trouble with him. And even if you want to say Ortiz hasn't been in the ring in a while, so maybe, it may go a few rounds, I don't even see that, man, because Brian Jennings was out for 2 years, and he got rid of March quick. You know what I mean? So just my quick opinion about this, man. I'm not going to wait long, or I'm not going to make a long video. Just want to do a quick one about this, about my opinion about that interview 78 Sports did with Wilder. And yeah, as far as, that money that was allegedly offered to him and he turned down, that Hearn put out there, this is what I'm saying, man. Hearn to say that, and I was just waiting for just a rebuttal from Wilder's side to say that's not true or whatever it was. So it just comes down to just, who do you believe? There's going to be fans that believe Hearn's telling the truth. There's going to be fans that believe that Wilder is, telling the truth and, saying that Hearn is full of shit about this money that he offered and so on and so forth. And if Wilder is to fight Ortiz, and if he is to beat Ortiz, and 78 asked a really good question. He said, let's say, Joshua Parker fight. Let's say for whatever reason, let's say somehow Parker pulls it off, because I'm pretty sure Joshua will be the betting favorite. Let's say Parker pulls it off. I'm pretty sure there will be a rematch clause. And so 78 posed that question to him. If they're wrapped up in a rematch, just let's say that happens, what will be your plans? Wilder then said Tyson Fury. So Ortiz, Tyson Fury, I'm like what I'm hearing. Tyson Fury seems as if he's serious this time. We'll see. Like I said before, I'll get excited about him possibly coming back, and then he'll disappear. But he seems as if he's a little bit more serious this time about his comeback. We'll see how it goes. But I think that will be a good fight. And to tell you the truth, man, I've always said this, man. I've always said this. When people are always asking me, besides Anthony Joshua, who do you want Wilder to fight? You always will bring up Anthony Joshua. My opinion has stayed the same, y'all. Fights that he already has had history with, but for some reason they didn't take place. I still want to see those before I see Brazil, Dillian White, Jarrell Miller. Those fights are Povetkin. I still want to see him fight Povetkin. I know Povetkin is wrapped up right now with the WBO. He has a fight coming up with Christian Hammer for the final eliminator for the WBO title. And for those of you that don't know, if Hammer is to pull out or get injured or whatever, Povetkin and his team already have Kyle Toro Fujimoto in place to replace him. But I still want to see Povetkin. Unfinished business there. That was a fight that everybody was anticipating. It didn't happen. When Tyson Fury came in the ring after the Spilka fight, and him and Wilder went face to face. When that happened, everybody wanted to see that. And wasn't nobody talking about Wilder didn't do enough and who is he and he's not known yet. No, we just wanted to see it. Now all of a sudden when it's Joshua involved, he needs to do, that type of thing, which I don't understand, man. And that's one of the reasons, like, well, shit, when it was Fury, we all was just hyped up about it. All right, so Fury's one guy. And then now Luis Ortiz. Those are the fights. If it's not a Parker or Joshua unification type fight, those are the three fights I want to see, or guys that I would like to see him fight first. Povetkin, Ortiz, or Fury. Nothing has really changed. Then we could bring in, if we don't get Parker or Joshua, then I would like to see the Dillian Whites and Brazils and Millers and those type of guys. What's good, Lawrence Williams? Danny Tanner says, imagine Povetkin versus Fujimoto. I would predict a 1-minute KO. Yeah, I don't think that that fight will last long at all, man. Fujimoto looks very susceptible to a overhand right, and we know that that's one of Povetkin's best weapons. Overhand rights, left hooks, and uppercuts. I just don't see that going well for Fujimoto. P Money was good. He says Povetkin can get that work too. Ortiz seems destined to be next in the Fury, if no AJ versus Park winner. Yeah, man, because those fights have history. You know what I'm saying? Like when all those fights were being made, or like I said, when Fury jumped in the ring, the internet went crazy. Then for whatever reason, they didn't come to fruition. I know Fury had his rematch thing with Vladimir, so maybe that fight would. But still, man, when that happened, everybody was talking about that. And when nobody talking about ticket sales and stadium talk, was none of that. That shit only started now. And maybe because some people are bringing up, well, we're talking about it for negotiation reasons. Well, nobody brought that shit up then, man. So, but yeah, man, just a quick video, y'all. Not gonna be too long, man. I'm gonna read a few more questions, and I'm gonna shut it down. Danny Tanner says, I really want to see Andy Ruiz back in the mix. He's too talented, staying active. Yeah, if you go on BoxRec, damn, I don't have the exact date that he's going to be back, but go on BoxRec and they have his date that he's going to be back, man. I believe in a few months here. I believe it's a few months. Just go to BoxRec and look it up. I've seen it too, and I was going to do a video about it. But I do follow him on Instagram, and he has been training. I seen him in the pool doing some pool workouts. Seen him running. So we'll see. Mr. Davis 6864 says, "How old is Ortiz?" Shit, man. You let me know. I have no idea how old he is. I know how old they say he is, but you know how it is with those Cuban fighters that come over to America. They kind of knock some years off their age, but I'm not sure, man. Your guess is as good as mine. You know what I mean? Few more questions, y'all, and I'm gonna shut it down. 23 people watching, man. Only 8 thumbs up. What's good, man? Let's hit that thumbs up button. P Money says Ortiz is 50. Danny Tanner says anywhere between 38 and 50. Laugh all out. This is a fight y'all want to see. If this is a fight you want to see, hit the thumbs up. Ortiz versus Wilder, March or April. And like I said, for those of you that just joined me, Wilder had the same idea that I had, which to me is just the right thing to do. Have Wilder Ortiz fight on the same day as this fight that's supposed to be made between Joshua and Parker. Showtime can hook it up. Us here in the States, we can watch Joshua Parker in the daytime and then watch Wilder Ortiz at night. A lot of sense. You know? It makes a lot of sense, man. So, you guys let me know what you think about that, man. I think that makes a lot of sense for them to fight like that on the same day. Showtime can broadcast the fights, man. It'll set up more excitement. It could be a heavyweight date event. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna end it here, man. Just a quick video about my opinion about the Deontay Wilder interview and him wanting to still fight Ortiz. And I know Ortiz still wants to fight him. I'm out, y'all.